Members of Parliament, I welcome you once again to your labours in a new session of Parliament. We are near the end of the third year of the second 5-year plan. In my address to you last February, I drew your attention to the stresses and strains to which our economy is subject. I expressed the concern of my government that our temporary difficulties should not lead us in the direction of retarding development and progress. Difficulties should be overcome by reconsideration and revision of method and by planned mobilization of resources. In May and again in November 1958, the National Development Council took into consideration the problems of resources, of production, and of phasing relevant to the second plan and decided that the plan outlay should be rupees 4,500 crore and this total should be reached by conservation of and addition to resources. The economic policy of my government has this end in view. Measures have been adopted to limit and phase foreign exchange commitments and expenditure to arrest rise in internal prices and to increase foreign earnings. Export duties on a number of commodities have been reduced or abolished and export quotas have been liberalized. In August 1958, as a result of a comprehensive review of regulations, export control was removed from as many as 200 commodities and the number of commodities subject to quota restrictions severely curtailed. My government have made successful attempts to secure foreign assistance by way of aid and loans to tide us over our temporary difficulties. Negotiations for further aid are in progress. Aid or loans from foreign countries for which my government and our people are duly grateful are not governed by the attachment of any political conditions to them. Negotiations in regard to future assistance will also be on the same basis. It is hoped that by the end of the third plan, a sound foundation will have been laid for future progress in regard to our basic industries, agricultural production, and rural development, thus leading to a self-reliant and self-generating economy. Planning is a national undertaking requiring the efforts of the whole nation and the cooperation of all at every stage. My government have therefore called for and look forward to a constructive, even if critical, approach by all and contribution in ideas from the different shades of opinion in Parliament and outside. To this end, my Prime Minister and the Planning Commission are seeking the cooperation of all parties. It is proposed to prepare a preliminary draft outline or plan frame for the third plan by the end of this year. After the preliminary draft outline has been discussed and approved, detailed consideration of central and state plans will commence. The principal objectives which we have accepted are a substantial increase in national income, rapid industrialization, expansion of employment on a sufficient scale, and a reduction in inequalities of income and wealth. The government will continue to aid and support small and cottage industries. The tempo of development already attained must be maintained and accelerated. Food and food prices are the most important factors in the regulation of our economy. On these largely depend other factors vital to our planning and progress, such as availability of foreign resources for development, the balance of payments position, the maintenance of internal price levels, and the arrest of inflation if and when it tends to set in. In this respect, self-sufficiency in food alone can provide a satisfactory solution. Increased yields by greater and sustained efforts and the adoption of improved methods in agriculture combined with the necessary agrarian reforms which would make agriculture both gainful and economic are imperative. To this end, my government will seek to promote agrarian reforms, cooperation, and devolution of functions to village units. Our developmental efforts in regard to the major crops by intensive production campaigns, greater stress on minor irrigation projects, proper utilization and maintenance of existing works, increased momentum in the establishment of seed farms, more promising tendencies to adopt better methods, and extension of soil conservation programs account in a considerable measure for the more hopeful horizon in agriculture. The community development program, on which largely depend the effective extension and implementation of democracy in meaningful terms to the large masses of our people, now covers 3 lakh villages and roughly a rural population of 165 million. Measures for more effective participation of the people in this vital development are being implemented. The basic unit of our democracy, the Panchayat, is being provided with increased resources and functions. Village cooperatives are being organized and developed so as ultimately to cover the entire rural area. My government have met with success in their endeavors to promote industrial relations on a voluntary and agreed basis. A code of discipline which stresses the need for recognition by employers and workers of both the rights and responsibilities of either side has been ratified by all central organizations of employer and workers. This code also prescribes certain norms of behavior. There has been a substantial increase in the output of the ordnance factories, which has enabled my government to effect appreciable savings in foreign exchange. There have also been advances in scientific and industrial research and development and the expansion of facilities in this respect. This has enabled progress in the indigenous production of materials required for the manufacture of defense equipment. The Committee of Members of Parliament, constituted in accordance with Article 344 of the Constitution to examine the recommendations of the Official Language Commission, has submitted its report. You will have the opportunity of considering it during the current session. Members of Parliament, I have placed before you some of the main events and achievements of past year. We have reason to congratulate ourselves to some extent in regard to our national development and progress. Members of Parliament, I bid you to your labours and wish you success. May your endeavours, your unity of ultimate purpose, and your high sense of public duty bring increasing prosperity and contentment to our people, stability and security to our motherland, and assist to promote peace and cooperation in the world. Stop.